Hi there, welcome to yet another video on the Marslender animation tutorial, and today we're going to focus on the lower engine part. So what we're going to do is we're going to select this object and press Shift S cursor to select it, so when we add another object we know for sure it's in the middle of this one. And I want to add in a cylinder, which is going to be the part where all the light comes flashing in, so you're going to see it later on. So add in a cylinder. I'm going to move it up a little bit, and I'm going to scale it a bit on the X and the Y axis, and to see it more clear I'm going to press Ctrl 7, so I'm in the bottom view. So scale, Shift Z, move it up like this. Okay, this is what I want. Then Q, sharpen. So this is the first part. Now we're going into edit mode, and we're going to select the bottom part, and we're going to duplicate it by Shift D, P, separate by selection, select it, go into edit mode, extrude it down. I don't know how far we're going to need it, but I'm just going to put it right here, and we can adjust it later if we need it. So always good to apply rotation and scale and set the origin to the geometry, so we have it nice around here. Then we're also going to put the cursor there, cursor to select it, so that's that. What I want to create now is some support beams around this cylinder, and I can do it by adding a mesh with a torus and scale it. Then into edit mode, Alt S, and yeah, I can do this and move it up and do an array around it, something like this, and then shade smooth. But this is too much work for me, so I'm going to delete it. And what I'm going to do instead is I'm going to use Addons. I'll put a link in the description, so definitely check it out because it's so cool. You can do so much with it. Watch this. You can select these edges and press Q, curve extract, S for smooth, and you can change it. You have a lot of settings, as you can see in the top right corner and bottom right corner, sorry. And I'm gonna do something like this. Okay, then scale them a bit. Yeah, I think this looks about right. I don't know what I'll need it for, but it looks cool. Something like this. Yeah, maybe just a little bit. So it's a bit outside of the top and the bottom part. Yeah, I think this is nice. And as you can see, it is a curve what Addons created for us, and you can change it around here, or you can just press it and Q adjust curve here, so you can do it from here as well, every setting. So that's really useful. I'm gonna leave it at this. Okay, next we're going to select this part, and we're gonna select this face, and we're just going to do an extrusion on the Z-axis, not too much, scale it in, and then we can inset it, extrude it in, extrude it out, and scale it something like this. Something like this. Then select it again, put a bevel on there, slightly, just like this. Then what I want to do is add in a circle. I'm gonna use, how many? I think 12 will be enough. And I'm gonna move it down, Ctrl 7, and I'm gonna put it something about here. Into edit mode, I'm going to edge mode and extrude it down a little bit. Then I'm going to select all these edges in the middle, and I'm going to split them with V. As you can see, it's now all loose parts. So if I select this one, G, it's completely loose. Now you cannot use Alt to click around the loop, but what you can do is just B and select them. And now what we can do is Alt S, and with Alt S you can do it like this. And as you always see with engines, they have this overlapping plating, and I'll just put it in there. I don't know if it looks cool, but we'll see later on. Then I'm going to add in a solidify. Let's see, yeah, not too much. Then add in a bevel. And I'm going to move it up, GZ. Just like this. Maybe scale it a bit. Now you can always do something like this, animate it if you want, but I'm just going to leave it at this, I guess. Something like this. So now we'll create the landing gear, or at least make a start of it. I don't know how long we've been recording yet, but yeah. We're going to add in a cylinder, rotate it on the y-axis 90 degrees, and we're going to move it up, move it to on the y-axis a little bit, and I'm going to scale it on the x. I'm not going to worry about how big it is right now because I'm going to scale it later on. If you want to know more about pistons, by the way, and how to rig and animate them, you should check out the YouTube channel of Level Pixel Level. He has really cool videos and tutorials about that. I'm gonna put a link in the description, so check it out. So I'm first going to apply rotation and scale, and we're gonna select this face, and we're gonna duplicate it, Shift D, rotate it on the Z-axis 90 degrees. Then I'm going to select this one into top face, extrude it on the y-axis, holding Control, so you have snapping, and I'm gonna do the same on this side. Extrude Y, Control. Maybe that's a bit far. Maybe. Alt S. Maybe something like this. Then I'm going to select these faces. I'm going to inset them. And I'm going to extrude them to right about here. Then we're also going to need this part. I'm going to inset it and then extrude it till around maybe just a little bit more, and I'm going to inset it just a little bit, and I'm going to extrude it out till around right about here. I'm just going to keep it one object because I'm not going to do much with it. So then we're going to do exactly the same with this face. Shift D, rotate it on the Z-axis 90 degrees, and I'm going to select this face, top face, extrude Y, extrude Y, inset it, extrude right about here, then shade smooth and that kind of stuff, sharpen, and maybe we'll also need some cool plating on there, and you can do it by hand by adding a loop cut here and then select this one, extrude and Alt S and that kind of stuff, or you can just select them with face mode, of course, Q and curve extract, and you have some options in there. And if you click shift then it creates plating for you. And I'm also going to do it around here. Q, Shift, something like this. I think this looks about a piston, I think. No, I'm not going to animate it or whatever. I'm just going to first apply the solidify if you want to join them again. Control J, and maybe add in a bevel, just a tiny bit. Then I noticed I didn't add this to the object, so Control J, and we're gonna rename it right away, piston, and maybe we can also do it for this one. So this is going to be engine fusion, whatever, and this is lower engine beams. I don't know if it's words, but who cares? Engine plating. Yeah, that's about right. Then we're going to need something to attach this piston to. So I'm going to make it really easy. Just add in a plane, rotate it on the x-axis 90 degrees and move it out so we can see what we're doing. And apply rotation and scale, and select these two verts and scale them in a bit. Not too much. Then select them all and Control Shift B and add in a couple of loop cuts. Then I'm going to remove this face, only the face, only faces. And now Q, and with curve extract, I'm going to create this S. Yeah, I think this is right. So what I want to do in the next part is move them out, rotate it a bit, GC, something like this. It's too big, too large, but we're gonna make it fit. And we're going to add the piston in there, and maybe we can already scale it a bit. But we'll make it fit in the next part. Then we're also going to add some decals, I think, and also some materials. So we're going to make it look more interesting before we start with the animation and adding the environment. So thank you for watching this time, and see you next time. Bye.